Hi, I'm Marc Alec Rutter, and you're listening to Ramblings of a Hellblazer by Chris Corden.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, listeners, wherever you are in the world right now. This is Ramblings of a Hellblazer, and I, as always, am your host, Chris Gordon. Thank you very much for tuning in, and thank you for all your support. You are all brilliant. I absolutely adore every single one of you. Thank you so much. Today, I'm proud to bring to you someone from the Star Wars universe. Actually, more recently, the Force Awakens film, which was a global phenomenon, and an absolutely brilliant film to boot. I've personally seen it 4 times now. So this gentleman happened to play two roles. He was a First Order Stormtrooper, and he was also the medic who helped Chewbacca carry an injured Poe back to the Millennium Falcon. So without further ado, I shall introduce you to Marc Alec Rutter. Okay, good evening. I have got Marc Alec Rutter here tonight from Star Wars The Force Awakens. So good evening, Marc. How are you?
Hiya, Chris. I'm good. Actually. It's good to be here.
Good. It's good to have you on. Thank you so much. It's been a while. We've been conversing.
Yeah.
But it's always been good to try and get time, though, because obviously your schedule has been so busy.
It's been up and down. It's always at the wrong time. Everything's always at the wrong time.
Everything comes at once, you know.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. All or nothing.
Cool. So as you know, we've got some questions anyway just to go through, so find out a bit more about yourself and obviously your role in Star Wars and other roles as well, and
Yeah.
things that you want to get into. So the first question I'll start off with is, how long have you actually been an actor?
It's fairly late for me. I started. Always wanted to be an actor, but I had family to bring up and stuff. So, 1996, I decided to do a drama course. So fairly late for me, really.
Oh, okay.
That was a 2-year course. That really started it all off, and it's been on and off since then. So yeah, 1996 was when I started, but I've been, trying to do it ever since. It's hard. It's a hard business to get into.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. It's very, I say, very up and down. Very the dynamic, especially with the TV and film, I think is a very difficult sort of arena.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, something I'd love to get into, but I don't think I've got the time to actually commit to getting into that. I'm not sure.
No, that's part of the problem. It's you do have to commit, and it's being able to do that is not always easy. But there we are. we're doing it now. So
Yeah, that's awesome. That is cool. So, what inspired you to get into acting in the first place? You said you've always wanted to get into it.
I think it was probably my mother, to be honest. She used to spend a lot of time with my mother when I was young, and we always used to watch all the movies and stuff on television.
Yeah.
She loved them. So I think it was the summer holidays when I was a child, being at home with mum, watching all the movies, and the westerns I think were particularly good for me. I always wanted to be a bit of a cowboy.
Can't beat a spaghetti western.
Excuse the pun. That's where it started really, and Hollywood was always somewhere that wanted to go, but don't need to now.
Well, no, that's
You've got the UK.
exactly. That's the beauty of I think the current modern age of filming. It doesn't really matter where you're located.
No.
It's wherever you are in the world. You can, the film will come to you. The film industry comes over. And the UK's got a booming industry. It always has, but
completely different now to what it was. I mean, there's so much going on, and everybody wants to be here. So, consider myself very fortunate to be here actually at the moment. So yeah, it's cool.
Excellent. Have you actually done any theatre at all?
I did some theatre a while back. I've done some Shakespeare. I did a bit of Oberon or Theseus, Midsummer Night's Dream. And I was Kaniki in Greece a while ago. When I was a bit younger. And I've done some other musicals and stuff. But theatre's nice. It's I love the smell of the theatre and the atmosphere and everything. But a bit repetitive for me.
Right.
I get bored easily. That's the trouble. And so yeah, for me. Yeah, theatre's cool, but it's a bit repetitive.
Okay, cool. That's how I used to do. Everyone hears because I've probably spoken about it whenever I speak to people about theatres. I used to do that as well in school, and it's something that I've always loved to have. I wished I'd carried it on. Was the acting side of things in the theatre. But you're right. Every time you go to the theatre, there's that unique smell. It's obviously the grease paint, and so every time I go and see it now, it just draws me back to that sort of memory of when I was there, and it's a phenomenal type thing. It's very different to screen because obviously
completely different
because you've got everyone. You make a mistake there, and everyone knows you made a mistake.
Sees you. Absolutely, everyone sees you.
You can't just quick and edit it.
But it is a very special place, and I'm probably going to get it in the neck for saying what I said, but that's just my personal preference.
Well, no, that's what everyone's got their own preference to it, so that's fine.
Yeah.
It is unique, but like you say, it depends on how you feel with it. So, but screen, I think, is definitely in the UK has been really vamped up recently. We've always had that history, but yeah, definitely all the Star Wars movies we've had. Well, not just them; it's the there's hints of everything else has been filmed over here. Harry Potter, look how big those were. Yeah. All the UK.
And every location's being used now. I mean, there's places opening up everywhere. I mean, I think Pinewood's just opened, just built two more studios over there. So it's really booming at the moment. So yeah, great.
That's awesome. I mean, I know Leavesden Studios actually come from Watford originally.
Yeah. Oh, really? Right.
Yeah, and originally Hemel Hempstead and Watford, and I had friends who used to live right opposite Leavesden Studios, where they filmed the Harry Potter. But at the time, it was still British. Was it British Aerospace?
It's a massive place.
Yeah, British Airways. I think it used to. Yeah, because it was my friend's dad used to work there when it was the airport, basically making the engines before it was even the studios.
Right. Okay.
So, but yeah, seeing that change and turn into a massive studio set. Awesome.
I didn't know that. I've learned something tonight.
Didn't you? Oh, right. Yeah. No.
I didn't know that.
I think it was at British Aerospace or Rolls-Royce. They used to make Rolls-Royce engines for the planes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's going back a long time, but
yeah, that's awesome. But that's what a lot of the places now. I mean, there are old places that have not as normally, as you say, to do with airports or something, and they turn them into film studios because they're ideal.
Oh yeah, they are. I mean, they've got the big hangars and everything already there. They just need to building space. That's pretty cool.
Right.
So obviously you, Elaine, also looking back here now, I'll say, what goals have you got for 2016 for the rest of the year?
Ooh, 2016. It's going so quickly already, isn't it?
It is. It's flying by.
Yeah, just really carrying on for this year, carrying on what I'm doing and trying to achieve my goals, which are doing my best and trying to stick in film and keeping everybody happy. It's keeping them all happy and doing the thing right. I think as long as you can do that, you're guaranteed some work. So yeah, I goals really just carrying on doing what I'm doing and enjoy myself. Because I've got to that age where you've got to enjoy yourself. Otherwise, life's too short.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
so it's getting a balance between working and also having fun. You got a problem with your cough, haven't you?
I have, yeah. Sorry, I keep going on mute. I do apologise.
Fine. Can't hear it. I can just see it.
I know. Yeah, I keep going on mute, so it's to try not to make it too obvious. But unfortunately, when you can see me, for everyone who can't see me at the moment, I just keep putting my hand over. So, okay, where would you see yourself in 5 years then? Obviously, I mean, that's a really, this is a question.
The first thing I think of when you say that is, in 5 years' time, I should be scared because it would be very close to 60 for me.
Right.
So that's the first initial thought. But hopefully, in 5 years' time, I'm doing what I'm doing now, but perhaps slightly more demanding stuff. And possibly some nice lead roles and stuff like that. That's what I'd like to get my teeth into.
All right.
I think I could be quite good at that. So yeah, that's what I'd like to be doing. Possibly making some of my own film. I've got some friends that would like to get into film. So yeah, that's probably it really. And being happy again and doing what you want, because that's very important in life.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's
doing what you want and keeping yourself happy rather than keeping somebody else happy.
Yeah, I think that's a great philosophy to have. It's the world we live in is so close, and life is too short. You never know what's going to happen, so it's just go out there and enjoy what you do.
And I think to a certain extent I need to probably enjoy myself a bit more, because I get told off for being a bit serious by certain people upstairs. So and just trying to enjoy myself a bit more, be less serious. There we are, just for the kids.
Awesome. Yeah, so I've got my little 9-year-old as well, so I can try and spend as much time on weekends just going out and.
Yeah. Well, honestly, it goes so quickly. It really does.
Oh, it does. It just seems yesterday was just a baby in arms, and now it's like 9, and soon it'll be.
My eldest is 32 now, so yeah,
yeah.
It's pretty scary, and I've got 2 grandsons. So.
Wow.
Awesome, but scary.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, life it is very, very fast.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very fast.
That's one of the things I say with the podcast thing, which I've started to really enjoy as well. It's like I'm concentrating more doing this, and like I just said before, trying to get in, start the acting and trying to work at that as well, because like it's something new. It's something I've always enjoyed, and to try and get to experience that and just have fun with life now, rather than
I think if it's something you really want to do, it'll happen. As long as you keep focused on it, it will happen.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've actually got I've cast in my first role anyway, which is a Robin Hood web series.
Oh,
which is coming up. Yeah, so it's in pre-production at the moment. So we're trying to.
Robin Hood.
Yeah, Robin Hood.
Right. So
I'm a jailer.
Fights and all that.
Sorry.
Fights and all that.
Yeah, good old fights. I'm a good old jailer in that one though. So.
Oh right.
I get to torture people apparently, so I'm happy at that.
You like the idea of that, do you?
Yeah, that's quite
okay.
It's
That's cool.
Yeah. It's the sadistic side of me, should I say?
Yeah, I know. We've all got a bit of that, haven't we?
Oh yeah. It'll be definitely a good one for when you relieve the stresses at work. Just go and do that, and just awesome. So, what would your ideal role be?
It's probably going to be a bit corny, actually, to be honest. Liam Neeson, Taken.
Okay, yeah, I could see you in that kind of a role, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a bit old to Bond now. I fancy myself as a bit of a Bond a few years ago, but it's just a bit old now. Although I'm fit for my age. But yeah, something like that. Liam Neeson, Taken. Something like bit of a revenge, bit of a serious character, bit of a mean guy. Apparently, I am. So I'll probably fit in quite well with that. So yeah, that would be cool.
All right, cool.
That'd be cool.
Awesome. I mean, you've had dabbled in that sort of area anyway. You played a colonel in Black Ops.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun actually. It was only 2 days filming, and the guys approached me through Facebook.
Right.
I don't know where they got my information from, to be honest, but they knew about me, and they just said, "We'd love you to come up and do this. Give us a couple of days." And I said, "Cool, yeah, no problem." So we had a day on the Thames running around in ditches and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then another day in London with some vehicles, and we had a lot of fun. There was no dialogue as such. You just sort of you don't mime. They give you the sort of the storyline, and you make up your own stuff.
Right.
And it's voiced over, but we had a lot of fun, and it was good. It was good.
Awesome. Yeah. Can't beat having a bit of a good old chasing vehicles.
I've not actually seen it all yet, I don't think, to be honest.
Oh, right, okay.
I'll have to have a look.
Cool.
But they do loads of stuff.
Do they? All right, I'll have to chase that myself as well and have a look at that.
Yeah, no, it's quite good.
Awesome.
Sort of more documentary than anything else. Isn't it?
All right, okay.
Yeah, but well worth a look.
Yeah, well, yeah. Like you say, any excuse to sort of run around in the mud and.
Exactly.
You can't.
Any excuse to dress up and
and do like James Bond and special forces type stuff. You can't beat.
Exactly.
There's always that inner thing inside every bloke, I think.
We've all got it, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. So okay, I've got some questions from some people who've written in as well regarding obviously Star Wars. So Glynis,
of course.
Glynis Spencer would like to ask, is being part of such a long-running popular franchise, was it particularly daunting going in there?
Well, hello Glynis, thank you very much for your question. Particularly daunting. Initially it probably was for a split second, but then I don't let stuff like that get to me, because if I do, it brings me right down. So no, I dealt with it straight away. And once you're there and you're with all the other guys, you just get on with it. But yes, initially it was a little bit daunting, but it's like anything else. Once you've been there for a while, you just get on with it.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris has asked very similar type questions, just worded differently. In a way, what was it like when you first walked on the set? I mean, obviously coming from the knowing the original trilogy and the everything about it. What was that feeling when you went on set?
Well, it was pretty awesome, to be honest, because the very first day on set was obviously as a trooper, and I'm pretty sure the first day was the landing craft scene. And I remember you obviously you go through the stage. It's a massive stage. You go through the 2-stage doors and you walk around the edge. And I remember that distinctively. You couldn't see anything. He's got these massive curtains and stuff.
Yeah.
And just walking right around the outside and going in and seeing the set, and it was just like, yeah.
Yeah.
And we had no idea what we was going to be doing, but it was that landing craft scene.
Right.
And we all got on there, and we had to simulate sort of moving around, And I thought, this is a bit corny. We just sort of doing this. And then once we'd done 2 or 3 takes, the hydraulics started up and the lights started flashing, and it was like, wow, this is awesome. And we were getting chucked around all over the place.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to one of the guys, they're going to use this for the trailer.
Oh, right, cool.
I just remember saying, they're going to use this for the trailer.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. And talking about it now, all the hairs on my arms are standing up. Because it was one of those, it was a moment. It was an awesome moment. So that was the first day. And then every other day was just a bonus from that, to be on the set of Star Wars. You have to pinch yourself, although you can't because you're covered in plastic. But it's an awesome feeling. It really is, and I feel so privileged to be a part of it, a very small part of it.
Cool. Have you actually come to terms with the fact that of this universe that you're now part of? Because I'm sure your world has probably I think it's totally exploded, hasn't it, since you?
Yeah, I know. I think I'm slowly becoming aware of the universe that I'm a part of. Certainly, my fiancée Tony, she's a massive Star Wars fan, has been all her life, and she's like, every time I come home, well, he's like, I'm tired, I want to just go to bed. So from that respect, it's evident here, but I can't get away from the fact because we've got the '1 fan upstairs on the computer at the moment. So I've come to terms with it, I suppose. Yeah, and it's great.
Oh, your fiance's got to be pretty proud of that, though. Is she?
Yeah, she is. She's pretty wonderful. She's my rock.
Awesome, cool. I say it's just I think everyone's guys like yourself that experience that you've described as well, obviously going on and having that shaking, and then seeing it. It just sounds like it's such a great moment that you can stand there and think this is just going to be so awesome. Yeah, I mean there's loads of memories, and quite a few of those. I think I've mentioned it before on some other interview that there was one particular night where it was the village scene and it was a night shoot. It was very cold. And there wasn't an awful lot of action for us, to be honest. Just a lot of standing around, and I was just waiting for the sun to come up so we could go home. Right.
And again, I probably just had a few daggers in my neck from fans for saying that, but the costume is really uncomfortable to wear for 12 to 14 hours.
I could imagine.
It was about 3:30 in the summer, and I just wanted to come home. And then all of a sudden, it was almost like somebody slapping me around the back of the neck. And it was like, Mark, look where you are. You're on the set of Star Wars. Man up. And then the sun started coming up, and again we had the shiver thing, and that was an awesome moment for me, and I'll never forget that. So there was loads of those. There was loads.
Awesome. That does sound great. It's like I guess when you're in when you're acting like that anyway, and for you it's a role, so you get into a mindset. Like you say, when you're standing around waiting, no one likes standing around waiting for anything. So I guess you do sort of just end up just getting into that, like, oh come on. But yeah, like you just say, it's
Yeah.
it's taking
Only
it's
if
taking
there's
that
not a lot
moment.
going on. It's like anybody else. No matter what you're doing, if there's not much going on, you just sometimes, if you're uncomfortable, it's like, we've all been there one way or another. So
Oh yeah.
that was all. It wasn't a negative thing against.
No, I didn't take
what
it
I
as
was
that. I
doing.
was like,
Feel very privileged, but that was all. It was one of those moments. It was plenty.
awesome. Any funny moments when you were on set and filming?
Funny.
Guess it,
There wasn't a lot of funny moments. It was all pretty serious because you've got so many people relying on everybody else.
Yeah.
So and to get everything to run smoothly, you've got all the crew, you've got all the actors, you've got everything, and to get that all to turn and go how they want, you have to just be really serious, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But the only people that probably weren't quite so serious are the main actors.
Okay.
They get to play around a little bit, and
Yeah.
it's great to see that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything, but yeah, there is that aspect. There was some times when I was a little bit worried about things going wrong, depending on what you're doing.
Right.
Like coming down the landing craft, it was hydraulic. It wasn't just some piece of wood that was lowered down with a piece of rope.
Right.
We had proper hydraulic landing craft ramps which went bang. It came down and smashed on the ground.
Yeah.
And then you had to run down. But when you've got like a dozen stormtroopers running off a landing craft and they're like a foot in front of each other,
Yeah.
18 inches in front of each other, you cannot see.
Right.
Because you've done this 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 times. You're hot. Your helmet is steaming up. You can't see out the little plastic lenses.
Yeah.
So there's the aspect of, oh dear, am I going to trip and land on my face? Am I going to knock everybody flying? So there's that side of it. There's nerves for that in wasting people's time. And there was one time when I went flat on my face. I hit the ground, hit the sand, and just played dead. Hit my head, cut my face.
Oh.
Because the helmet's quite sharp inside in some places.
Yeah.
The stunt helmets weren't, but the ordinary helmets are just plastic inside, so there wasn't an awful lot of padding. So yeah, that was. But yeah, funny moments. Carrie Fisher, she was always making us laugh one way or another. Whereas Harrison was always very serious and professional about what he did. Yeah, there was a few, but
Yeah, not that you can talk about.
not that I can talk about really.
Yeah, that's got. Yeah, it's funny when you. Oops, not funny when you mentioned about the, coming off that landing craft and you can't see. One of the things I feel really privileged to have done is when I used to do a reenacting years ago, about 10, 15 years ago. I ended up doing a documentary with Michael Sheard, the late great Michael Sheard, and I was just an extra standing there as a German soldier while he did Hitler as a Hitler of the Andes documentary. I think I appeared in it for 3 seconds, 4 days of filming, and I think there's about three 3-second intervals where you can see me, which is pretty normal. But he was great. I mean, it was the days when we all stayed in a hotel together and he drank us under the table every night. Bless him. He's a great guy. But he told us, I think, in The Empire Strikes Back, the opening scene where Darth Vader comes in and you've got the Hoth troopers behind. Yeah. They wanted to do that scene exactly like they did with the first film, with the way they came running in.
Right.
But apparently they had to change it because the guys couldn't see through their masks, and they trod on Vader's cape and he went flat on his face.
Yeah. No, it was a real problem. All the guys' helmets were steaming up, and they don't wait for you. So, after 3 or 4 takes, you have to take the helmet off, and costume would have to wipe them for us, and put them back on, and sometimes you weren't allowed to take them off. So you had to, a lot of it was just like almost blind, really. You just go and watch, following this white blob in front of you, which was another trooper, and you were just hoping that he knew where he was going.
Oh yeah. Well, again, there's that infamous scene, isn't there, from the first Star Wars film, where the guy walks through and smacks his head. Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously they left that in. They didn't. Things going so quickly. Just
exactly. Yeah, they wouldn't get away with it now, but.
That was a classic. But yeah, no. So you just reminded me then of that with the way Vader came out. In like Dave Prowse, big guy in that suit, just flat on his face because they trod on his cape, and he.
So it happens.
Yeah.
It happens, and I dare say there'll be outtakes from this film which will give everyone something to laugh at.
It would be good. And so obviously Harrison himself ended up breaking his ankle, didn't he, with those?
Yeah, I actually got to that day. I got to set and got sent straight home. They said go home.
Right.
Didn't tell us why.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear, what have we done? But, yeah, I think it was 2 weeks. I think they shut down. Right?
Yeah, it was quite a long time, wasn't it, for him to.
Yeah.
To go through. What was it like as well? I mean, you didn't just play the Stormtrooper, you were also a medic as well, so you were with Chewbacca at one point, weren't you?
Yeah, I was actually. That was a Green and Common. And we had I think it was a couple of weeks there or so. Mm-hmm. And I got to set that day and I think they'd already chosen me, to be honest, because I went to makeup straight away.
Right.
Before costume, which is not the norm, really.
Yeah.
Not doing that sort of thing. And the actual scene was a lot longer than what you see. Mm-hmm. I go running in. Chewie comes down the ramp with Finn, and I go in and place him onto this it's like electric golf trolley thing. Mm-hmm. And that goes off into the distance, and we go off into the distance, and then the crowd comes around us.
Right.
To focus on, obviously, Harrison coming down off. Mm-hmm. Off the Millennium Falcon, but the scene actually continues us going off into the distance. But we had a laugh doing that. I've got to be careful what I say, but we had a laugh. No, I can't really say too much.
No, that's fine. Don't worry.
But the main actors were making sure it was a lot of fun for us.
Yeah.
Because it was me, and I think it was another lady there as well, but I don't think she's seen in the clip. But the two of us go off into the distance, and they were cracking jokes and making a lot of fun, a lot of fun for us. And we was trying to keep serious, because there was a camera in front of us as well.
Right, so you couldn't really laugh.
Yeah, so it was like, but they weren't seen on camera, so they were like,
Yeah, they could just rip it up.
Yeah, they were trying to put us off. It happens a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine.
On the very last day of filming, obviously, when we have lunch or dinner, whatever time it is, mm-hmm. We go to whatever the marquee is, and which the food is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and
it's very easy to put on weight, especially if you're getting there and you're having full breakfast in the morning, and then you got sweets all the day to keep your energy going, and then you got a massive lunch, mm-hmm. and you eat as much as you want. But on the very last day, I remember queuing up to get lunch, and looking up and across the other side of the table, because all the food's laid up across the table and people queue up either side to get their dinner. And I looked up and Harrison Ford's right in front of me.
Wow.
I mean, I knew him anyway, because I'd met him standing in for him, and mm-hmm. So. But for him to queue up, come out of his trailer and queue up with all us lot, I thought that was a wonderful thing to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he didn't need to. Normally, somebody would come along and get his lunch for him and take it to his trailer.
Yeah.
But on the very last day, he didn't. He queued up with all of us. And the strange thing is, nobody said anything. They just looked at him, and nobody said anything. And that was a bit weird, I thought. I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
But he was there, queuing up, going along, getting his vegetables, getting his chicken or whatever it was. Yeah. And then walking back, and nothing was said. And that was a bit of a bizarre moment, but I thought that was a nice thing for him to do.
Well, it does. It gives you give more respect then, don't you? Because obviously he's coming in and he's not being all diva-ish and straight in, making sure that you're all part of one team.
A very professional man, very, very, very professional man. Oh, and we gave him after we came back from the after we came back from his accident.
Hmm.
I thought it'd be nice to get him a get well card.
All right, okay.
So I stopped at a garage on the way and I got a blank Darth Vader card.
All right.
And I got about 8 of the guys, stormtroopers, to sign it.
Hmm.
And I put on the top, "Get well soon" from the enemy. And it was handed to him. Apparently, I never got a reply or anything, but
Yeah.
he definitely got it. So he might still have that somewhere.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Cool, awesome. That sounds great.
Yeah.
So the last kind of question I've really got for you is like, what are your next projects? What are you working on at the moment?
Yeah.
If you can tell anything about them, which you probably can't.
Well, since the Force Awakens, I've been on 4 other major film projects.
Hmm.
I can't say what they are. It's still going now, and just watch this space.
All right, cool.
Think really.
Yep.
That's all I can say. Apart from that, I mean, I've got my other stuff that I do. I've got chickens and geese and stuff here that keep me grounded.
Yeah.
And a garden which needs a lot of work at this time of year. So and an orchard and stuff. So when I'm not working on set, I'm looking after the house and the garden and the animals, and helping look after the animals with Tony. She does most of it, but so yeah, there's that side of it as well. The normal life.
Yeah, the normal
on
side.
on this planet, you know.
Yeah, not Jakku or anyone.
No.
That sounds cool. And obviously, yeah, I won't press you on what you're into or what you've done if you don't get
What I'm into?
Well, no, what you're into. I mean, with what films you've been, what films you've done. I mean, phrase that wrong because obviously that's
Yeah,
you're totally in trouble with that.
I can't really. Yeah, I know it's really boring. I can't say. I can't say.
That's not boring. It's intriguing. It means everyone's going to now listen and watch and figure out what it is you're talking.
But it's just that the contracts are really strict, and so I just can't say.
Yep, no, that's cool. Well, that means watch this space, so people will now be watching to make sure that they catch whatever
there's
you're in.
a lot of good stuff going on.
Excellent, excellent. It'd be good to see you in some more stuff.
Yeah.
I'll keep my eye open for it now.
Yeah. Of course.
Cool. So anyway, that does bring me to the end.
Okay.
So thank you very much, Mark. It's been
You're
fantastic.
more than welcome, and thank you for my wonderful questions,
That's
and
all right.
from the questions from my dear people out there asking as well. I can't remember what the names were.
We
Sorry.
had Carissa, Emily, and Glynis were the ones who
There we
went
are.
through it. So brilliant.
Thank you for those.
All right, cheers. Anything you'd like to say quickly before to anyone listening?
Only that if you're ever near conventions and I'm there, please come along and say hello. The fans are so important. After doing conventions and seeing the fans and how excited they are about everything, it's just awesome to meet them, and I love it. I love it. So please, if you see that I'm going to be at a convention, come along and say hello. You know, and let's have a chat. Because I think you're awesome.
Cool.
All of you.
That sounds great. I think the feeling's mutual.
Yeah.
Anyone comes to a convention, it'd be. I know you've been to a few, and obviously, hopefully, you'll be at one that I'll get to soon enough. So
Yeah, I'm sure we will. Unfortunately, with the stormtroopers, there's quite a lot of us, so they're being sort of shared around at the moment.
Yeah, spreading everyone around.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, anyway, no, thank you very much, Mark. That's been an absolute
you're more than
pleasure to
welcome.
talk to you. Thank you. Thanks once again to Marc Alec Rutter there. Very much appreciate taking the time to talk to myself and answer the questions that were sent in. As always, I appreciate the questions that were sent in by you guys who listen. Very much appreciated. Hope you've all enjoyed that, and please stay tuned to Ramblings of a Hellblazer as I am on fire, and there will be lots more interviews coming up in the near future, so keep listening. This has been Chris Gordon, your host on Ramblings of a Hellblazer. Until next time, folks, goodbye.